Okay, so here's the next process. So we're going to take this doweling jig here, and I've already orientated these the way that the dowels will go in. But basically, you loosen this here, it spreads the jaws apart. You move it clockwise, it'll tighten the jaws. So basically we're going to loosen it up, put it over your piece of work, and you're just going to clamp this down, and then what you're going to do is take your drill and you'll drill a hole through this. Now to get the correct measurement, what you want to do is take the thickness of the doweling jig on your drill bit, which for me looks about 1.5 inches. And then you're going to want to take one of your dowels, and these say right on the box that they are 1.5 inches in length. So you're going to want to take half that length. So that's going to be roughly 3/4 of an inch. You want it actually a little deeper than what this says to make sure these have room for expansion and they'll fully seat. If you get them super, super tight, as wood expands and then contracts with the seasons, these won't create a good glue joint. So it's okay to have it a little deeper than what it says. So basically, we know we need at least minimum 3/4. I'll probably go to 1 inch on these. And then I need another, for this particular jig, about 1.5 inches. So roughly we'll do 2.5 inches is what you're going to want to set on your drill bit. For these 2x4s, they are now 1.25 inches in thickness. That's what I wanted. And so typically I use a 5/16 drill bit to drill these. And that's what these dowels are. Or sorry, these are actually 3/8. So I use 3/8 for the 1.25 inch thickness. And that seems to be plenty for what I've been doing. So you'll use a 3/8 drill bit, and these have different size grommets that fit in there, and they go into different holes. And basically you can unscrew it here and you can stagger them. So if you wanted a couple inches apart and then move it down, do a couple inches, move it down, do a couple inches. I just do a single one, and I do about like 4 or 5 like I said. But they do supply a couple different sizes. They provide you with a 1/4 inch, which is the smallest size. They give you 3/8 and then 7/16. So those are the 3 sizes that came with my jig. And mine is a Shop Fox jig. So actually I lied. It's a 1/4 inch, 5/16, and 3/8. And I have the 3/8 in there right now. So that's the jig I use. It works really, really good. You can eyeball it down the side here. I don't do that. It's just too hard for me. So really what I do, this has been the easiest for me, is I'll get all my pieces and I'll get them lined up so they're completely square. Once I like them where they're at, I'll take a clamp. This is just to ensure they don't move. So again, you just watch it. I'll put just a little bit of pressure so they can't move. Even if the piece moves, they won't move individually. Then what I do is I take a pencil and then I take a square. And I just eyeball it. It's not crucial as far as the spacing really. I know that I'm going to cut off 1 inch here, so I'm going to want to leave a couple inches. So I'll pull it back and I'll make a line. I'll eyeball it till I kind of like where I'm at. Yeah, somewhere in there. And I'll make another mark. And I'll do the same thing on this side. I'll pull it a couple inches away from the edge till I like it. Like I said, you just want 4 or 5 in here. Alright, and then I'm not even going to move that clamp. I'll just get this close as I can to this clamp. So now that I have my marks, I can release my clamps. And what those marks are going to be is that's where I'm going to drill my holes. And like I said, this jig will make sure it's automatically centered in between the thickness of the board. But what it doesn't do is it doesn't allow me to know where I'm going to drill my holes. So I don't like the guide on the side here. I don't even know if the camera will pick it up, but inside here there's some really faint white marks. And they're really hard to transfer it down the piece. So I put the marks here, and then once I get the marks that I like, I'll take this same square, I'll flip this board this way, and I'll transfer the marks down the side. We're going to sand these completely, so I'm not worried about the pencil marks. And I only do this on one side, and that's the side that's going to get the dowel jig put on, and I'm going to eyeball down so I'll know where my marks, so I can center that doweling jig. And I just eyeballed this, and it's actually coming out really, really well. So basically, now that I have my marks extended, I can take this doweling jig, and I'll rest it on there, and then I can just look down on the side here, and it has marks, like I said. So now you can take those marks, and they're white, and without owning a jig, I can't really show you in the camera, unfortunately. But you just match those up and tighten it down. I know that's good. I take my workpiece. That clamp's not long enough, so I'll grab a different clamp. Clamp the piece down so it doesn't move. This jig also prevents tear out, which is really, really nice. So now I'll take my drill and grab my drill bit. Make sure I get the right one. That was 5/16. Sorry about that, guys. So, grab my drill bit, and like I said, measure the depth of this, which is 1.5 inches. We'll just verify. This is another 3/4, so we'll go 1 inch. We'll call it 2.5 inches. So, I just take some tape. I measure 2.5 inches. I'll do 2 3/8 actually, just so I'm a little undersized. And place the tape there. That's all you got to do. Once you have a line, take your tape measure, double check. Make sure from the tip, that's about 2 3/8, or 5/8. Yep, 3/8. So, that's all you really need to do. Chuck it in your drill. Start your drill before you start going into the workpiece, and then just drill down. Once you hit this red line, and then you're about there. That's about it. So it doesn't take much. Let me just double check, because that didn't seem very deep at all. Okay, well, that was there. Okay, pull it out, and you'll basically just repeat this process all the way down until you're done. So the first hole that I drill, before I start doing the rest, it doesn't create me a whole bunch of work later on. I always make sure that this first dowel looks like it's about halfway in. And it's nowhere near. So and I cleaned it out really good. So I'm going to have to go down farther. So I put the jig back on, line everything back up, slowly tighten it, get it where I like it. I'm going to peel back this tape. I'm going to do 2.5. I should have just went with my gut on that because this tip here. So about right there. Okay. Pull it back out. Blow on it. You're gonna have to take like some type of punch or an awl or something to get this dust out of here, these little wood chips. You only have to do this for the first one because once you get your depth set, that's pretty darn close. So we'll measure, there's 3/4 of an inch there. So I'll make this go down just a tad past the tape line that I have, and I'll know that that's good. And basically you're just going to repeat this process on all the boards. And that's it.